Alright, we're here testing the Kansept AGI. Not sure what that stands for. And this is featuring their Damascus. It's a raindrop pattern, and I want to see how it is, you know? Typically, at least in my experience, with more budget-friendly knives, Damascus usually is not the way to go if you want performance. They might look cool, and if that's what you're after, then that's fine. But if you're after performance, it's usually better to go with one of the, I guess you call it a mono steel, probably. It's just a little more reliable. You know exactly what it is. And hopefully as long as it's heat treated right, then you know how it's going to perform. So I wanted to see how Kansept does with their Damascus. The factory edge is okay. You can see it was easily cutting paper, but it wasn't the best, sharpest edge I've ever seen, by far. Starting with some regular cardboard here. This thing is small, by the way. I can get a full grip on it, but if you had larger hands than I do, you probably wouldn't be able to. It is, it's a full flat grind, and it's nice and thin behind the edge. The geometry on this thing is pretty good. So it's slicing very nicely. Yep, super nice. Now let's move on to the thick cardboard. Really not a problem here. Slipping out a couple times, getting caught in the sharpening choil a couple times. You can see on that cardboard the little snag, and that's when you slid back. Cardboard went into the sharpening choil area and snagged up your cut. See right there? That's just kind of, what happens on a knife that has a sharpening choil and no choke up area where you can kind of block it with your finger. Just something that happens. Speaking of the sharpening choil, it's done pretty decently on this knife. There is separation between the plunge grind and the edge termination. It's not much, but it does have a little separation there. Utility cuts is, actually surprisingly good. This tip is low enough to really get some nice utility cuts in, and it's pretty thin up there as well. Yeah, and this is the thick cardboard too. It was really cutting well. Next up, let's get our old leather glove out here. And let's see how this thing does cutting on a cutting board. Not great as far as sharpness here. The knife is starting to feel dull. Some sawing motion needed to get through all the layers of leather. So, yeah, we're definitely losing some sharpness. I don't feel like that was due to geometry or the knife itself at all. It was really just the edge where, we're losing our edge. That is not a good sign. We're still pretty early in the testing. Let's go to the Cecil rope. And you'll see that, yeah, we're pretty dull. Yeah, you can get through it, but I'm pressing really hard down, And, you know, the sawing back and forth, the rocking, yeah, just not good. Really not good. It cuts a little bit better further back on the edge as opposed to starting with the tip, but in general here, we're not looking too good. Now this, you know, there's a lot of variables. This could have performed differently if it had a really nice, you know, laid back edge put on it. Might do a little better. Could be a burnt edge from factory. It might be better once you sharpen it. But, you know, we test knives right from factory for the most part, so it is what it is. Now, cutting some real thick plastic. Well, it's not thick. It's really tough, though. Some tough plastic air hose. And it's cutting it, but, man, you look at my fingers. Just putting dents in those things from gripping hard. Now, when you're gripping the knife really hard, there are some hot spots. But, like when I was cutting through the cardboard, I didn't notice anything. So, just once you're gripping it real hard, you can notice a few. The 2-inch strap, got about halfway. Pretty much what I expected. Let's do another one. About halfway again. Last one. Oof, less than halfway. No bueno. So that's kind of it. Let's cut the paper if it will. And no, it won't. Yeah. Yeah, this is too bad. Let's give it a quick stropping and see if that improves it. If we can get the edge back quickly here. Yeah, that you know, that ain't good. I wouldn't want to carry a knife that, you know, loses an edge this quickly. Let's try it again. And yeah, that's vastly improved. So quick strap will take care of it, but still, you know. Yeah, again, there's a lot of variables, but the knife that I got from Kansept, this one here, in this Damascus with this edge from factory, this is how it did. Doing a quick spine whack. Thankfully, it is solid in that respect, so that's good. And that's the end of the cut test. Please like the video. It helps me a lot. Make sure you're subscribed also. See you next time.